I'm Yaya.
And I'm Lloyd, and we are from Hand Luggage Only.
So basically, we started this series where we talk about some of our favorite places to go to across the world and I guess hopefully provide some information, inspiration, I don't know.
Anything.
Yeah, maybe this will help you when you're deciding where to go to next. Today we are going to Canada.
Oh, hey, Canada. That was my attempt at a Canadian accent.
We're going to be talking about our favorite cities in Canada. Oh, Canada. And I guess why they're our favorites as well.
Poutine, right?
That would be Lloyd's favorite for anything Canadian. It's poutine. Let's get started, shall we?
So our first protocol is in French Canada. French Canada?
The French part of Canada?
The French-speaking part of Canada in Quebec.
The first time you went there was in autumn, and it is one of the best places to go to, not just in Canada, like I feel like in the world for autumn. I didn't know this would be a thing I'd be into, but the autumn colors when the leaves change.
I knew you were going to say that.
It is like a rainbow of colors. It is gorgeous. To be fair though, Quebec is actually really beautiful. Even beyond, say, the autumn colors. It's held on to a lot of the French heritage. It feels like basically you went back to France, but you're in Canada. The next one is an easy favorite of mine. It's like probably the first Canadian city we went to. It's Vancouver. It is beautiful. I think I fell in love with that city like from the get-go. As soon as I stepped into the city, I was just like, something about it. I don't know if it was how close to nature it felt. I don't know if it was maybe it was just sunny. Maybe I don't know. It was something about it just really struck a chord with me. And every time we've gone back there, I've always felt like it's kind of reaffirmed that same feeling of just like, this is just such an amazing city. I love it.
Feels like it's like a big global city in some respects, but it's like hugged by mountains. Like, you can literally just take a car ride or a bus for 20 minutes and you're literally in the mountains. Okay, on the other side of the country, we have got Toronto, which to me always feels like a Canadian New York. Does that make sense?
I resent the comparison. I always believe a city should be a city on its own. It shouldn't be the Venice of the New York of the. So yeah, I know what he means. Yeah, it makes sense what he's saying basically.
The thing that really struck me is how much of a foodie city it is. For like 6 days we were there, we did not stop eating. The restaurants are incredible.
In Toronto, it was just hit after hit. Like constantly great meals. It wasn't even like you were eating the same thing. It wasn't like you were like, oh, I'm having this kind of food and it's consistently good here. It was like you'd have Thai food one time and you'd have
Spanish
I want to say Canadian food, but Jamaican food. Do you know what I mean? You have all sorts of meals from all over the world there and it's so good.
Further on to the East Coast, you have got St. John's, which is another incredible city.
It reminds me a bit of like Nordic cities. I guess the way Norway, when you go to like some of the coastal cities there, or coastal towns even, are like have these colourful buildings. Yeah. It's like a good place to go whale watching, also to find puffins. Yeah, it's good, got a good balance of nature and the city as well.
Do you remember the thing that I didn't do this, by the way? I was like, nope, I'm not going to do it. My fear already took hold of me before this, but yours didn't.
It wasn't a fear.
It's screeching, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the traditional screeching.
It's not your story. Yeah. If you didn't do it, you can't talk about it. Basically, it makes you an honorary Newfoundlander. The thing Lloyd basically made Lloyd chicken out was you have to kiss a fish, a dead fish. And I think they were just like, nah. Oh, no, that's not the end of it. So you do the song, you kiss the fish, and then you have a shot of screech. And I mean, you had me at the shot. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I'll do it.
It'll be fun.
I know. I was like, I volunteer as tribute. It was great. It was fun. It wasn't like as bad as Lloyd thought it was going to be in his head. It was a fun thing to do. Definitely do that when you're there. The next one is going to be, I guess, an easy win, and that's Ottawa. That's the capital city. It's where the Prime Minister is. It's where the Houses of Parliament are and all of that good stuff.
Remember we did that tour inside the Houses of Parliament? Is it called the House of Parliament or Parliament Building?
I think it's called Parliament House.
Parliament. I didn't get it right at all.
Yeah, inside it feels very similar to like the one in the UK.
Yeah, it's totally gorgeous. Like you can go on these like hour to 2 hour tours and you get to go around the whole building. It's so gorgeous to see.
I went on like a food tour there. We went to like the markets. We went to the museum. It's a gorgeous city.
You remember once we finished that food tour, we were stuffed, but we still had beaver tails after.
Oh gosh, yeah. Like, I think that was like the camel. I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Like I think we'd had the food tour and I was feeling like I'm full, but I was like, you have to have a beaver tail. I mean, that's a Canadian thing. You've got to
Yes.
do it. And after that, I think I was just almost like limping back in pain to the hotel. It's like, nope, I ate too much. Help me, somebody.
Right next door, and the next city to go to is a place called Gatineau, and it's literally
Gatineau.
It's literally over the water. It's so easy to get to if you're already in Ottawa. It seems like from an outsider, you're kind of in, like, if you're in Ottawa and you go to Gatineau, you kind of think, it's going to be the same. They're very different cities in a lot of ways. So
I mean, they're in different provinces.
yeah, different provinces, and like you notice it straight away with the way that people are and like the kind of things that are happening there.
So true, because like Ottawa is basically very English speaking. I mean, it's bilingual, but it's pretty dominantly, it's supposed to be on the English speaking side. And then you have Gatineau, which is in Outaouais, similar to Ottawa, and that's the French side. And it's again, even like in the menus in restaurants, like just it's like almost like you just go French, like English is just literally that border, that river that seems to separate them. I think if you're doing one, definitely do the other. Just make the time for both of them, really. So one city you definitely have to visit in Canada is Calgary, partly because it's like the gateway to so many adventures.
Yeah.
So if you're going to go and explore Alberta, you're probably going to fly into Calgary. If you're going to go to Banff, if you're going to go to Lake Louise, all these amazing places that you've probably seen loads of times in photos and videos and stuff, you're going to go through Calgary as well. And I think what people used to do is just fly into Calgary and then just carry on immediately. Like, you don't spend time there. And that would be a mistake because Calgary is amazing. First off, the food. Amazing food. Every time we've been there, it's always been another one of those Canadian cities that's just impressed you so much with the food that's there.
Similar to like Toronto, they've got like a big tower that you can go up as well, but they've also got some really cool museums. They've got the new library that's really cool.
I feel like it sounds like a tour guide.
I know,
Come to
right?
Our museums, our library.
Welcome to
We've got amazing walks. Like, each of them is special and different. So, for instance, like the library, the architecture in there. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a library, it's beautiful, there's all that good stuff, but the architecture is what you show up for. Then there's Studio Bell as well, which is, I guess it's like the Canadian Music Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Kind of all that good stuff is in there.
In the same province as Calgary, you have got Edmonton, which is probably, again, seen as a lot of ways the gateway to like Jasper National Park and areas over there. But also in its own right, it's a great city to go to as well. It has the biggest indoor roller coaster festival in the world, which we rode and we screamed.
I kind of know to be scared before I go on it. I just thought, because we're indoors, like, how scary can this roller coaster be? And I think it was only like, as we were climbing, I was just like, oh my God, this is really, really high. And it was like, too late. Phew! Like, it totally took me by surprise. Terrified, but it was so much fun. One of my favorite things we did then, this is in winter, is they've got the ice castles there.
Oh my
and
gosh.
it is this beautiful kind of, it feels like Narnia almost. It's like this otherworldly kind of icicles, and I don't know what you call stalactites.
Stalagmite tights.
Purely icy things.
Ice pick things.
This one is one of my favorites, and it is because this is one of the best places to go to in Canada if you want to see whales, and that's Victoria.
Yes.
For me, like, seeing whales has been a big thing for me. Like, it's been on my mind for ages, and eventually we did do this in Alaska, but we had tried it for years, and then when we were in Victoria, it was almost like you didn't even have to make an effort.
They were
like,
just
just like everywhere. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're not even trying to look for like the whales, and it's just like humpback whale over there, humpback whale over there. It's just
insane.
like playing around. It was amazing.
The final stop of the best Canadian cities to go to is Halifax.
I'm not sure why the sing song.
I know, right? I don't know either. I was like, get some tunes in there. That was one of our first stops on the Atlantic coast. The city in itself is a great place to go to for at least a long weekend. I know there's poutine there as well. I had to mention it one more time.
And I think it's one of those cities as well where it's actually quite a great hub to visit some of the other places around it as well. So like you've got Lunenburg, you've got Peggy's Cove.
Yeah.
Like there's lots of like little fun places outside the city as well to check out. It's a place people go to start their adventures. But again, similar to Calgary, just take a couple of days to just actually enjoy the city, to actually relax and get things started, because it's definitely worth a visit as well. So there we go. That's it. Our top 10 places in Canada.
Yeah.
If you have any questions about any of these places, anything, just like leave us a comment below. Till next time. Bye. And now, outro dance.